plus 3 minus 2 minus 2.
Alright, so today we're going to go over some things on the simplified algebraic expressions that we're going to go over a few more things. Alright, so one of the first things, okay, let's see. Let's say we have a squared times b plus c cubed plus a squared. Alright, so doing the distributive property, like we've been doing, we will multiply a squared times b and a squared times positive c cubed. Alright, so before, if we saw this, if we had a squared times a plus 1, we would add the exponents. So it would be a3 plus a squared, because a squared times 1 is a squared. Anything times 1 is itself. Alright, but that's not the same thing in this situation. Alright, so if we have a squared times b, we're not going to just add the exponents or do ab squared or ab3. That's incorrect. So here, since you're multiplying, you have to think about what you're doing when we're saying this. We're saying we're multiplying this variable by this variable. Alright, so that we'll rewrite as a squared times b, which is exactly what we're saying when we're doing that. Remember, anything touching that equals multiplication. And so it will be the same here. A squared times positive c squared will be positive a squared times positive c cubed. C cubed. And then we bring down our positive a squared. And that will be our simplified expression. So, again, what I'm saying is, when we distribute, we're multiplying. We're just multiplying this number by each of these, or a variable by what's inside the parentheses. So, if we have a squared times a, like we have here, because it's the same thing. So remember how we explained it before, we have a squared, that's a times a, and then we're multiplying it by another a, so that would be a cubed. Here, we can't do that. We can't say we have a squared, which is a times a, and then we're multiplying it by b. So we can't say that that's a cubed or ab cubed. That's just a times b. And the shorter way to write a times a is a squared, and then we're still multiplying it by b. Same thing with this one. We have a squared times positive c cubed. A times a squared is the same thing as a times a, and then we're multiplying it by positive c cubed. So c cubed is c times c times c. So we're multiplying all of that. So we can't say that a times c times c times c is ac to the 5th power. You just can't do that. Because imagine if these were numbers. Let's say a equals 2 and c equals 3. And so that would be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So you can't just say 2 times 3 to the 5th power. You can what's it called when you, this is expanded form. What's the other word?
Exponential.
Yeah, so you can write the expanded form to the exponential form, make it smaller, and so that would be, so 2 times 2 would be 2 squared, and then 3 times 3 times 3 would be 3 cubed. So you would have 2 squared times 3 cubed, which is like our example, a squared times 3 cubed. So that's how you would do that. Are you writing this down? Do you have to tell you to take notes?
I was on the news, started writing down. Before you said that, I started writing down.
Why weren't you writing while I was talking?
So I could see it.
Alright, so again, let's say we have B times C plus 1 minus 1. Alright, so we're going to distribute. We're going to do B times C. So B, C, because that's B times C. And then we have B times positive 1, so that's going to be positive B. And then bring down our negative 1, our minus 1. We have C squared, or C times C plus C squared plus B. Then we do C times C, which is C squared, plus C times C squared, which is C to the third, and then C times positive B, which is positive C times B. Again, the reason this becomes cubed, you add the exponents, is because if you're doing something times itself, C times C, that's C squared. Just like if you had 2 times 2, that would be the same as 2 squared. So if we have C, and then we're doing it times C squared, which we know is C times C, so that would be C times 2 more C's. So we have it times itself 3 times, then that's to the third power. And then of course, then that's just CB. Something else I want to point out, when you have something like this, AB squared plus 2AB minus 1 minus 2AB. Alright, so I'm combining like terms. So our only like terms are the 2AB and then the AB, the negative 2AB. So of course 2 minus 2 would be, 2AB minus 2AB will be 0. Well, 2 minus 2 will be 0, which will be 0 times AB. Of course, we know anything times 0 is 0. But don't write that in your problem. Just leave that out. You can, but just leave it out so you're not making any mistakes thinking you're multiplying or dividing or anything like that. So you can just rewrite that as AB squared minus 1. And also, I want you all to start making sure you're writing your problems out in the correct order, putting the variables first, or the highest variable with highest exponents first, and then going down. So for instance, let's say we have A times two minus A squared plus 3. Alright, so we have a times 2, which is 2a. 2 times a times 2, same thing. Then a times negative a squared, which is going to be negative a cubed, and then our positive 3. Alright, so this is what I'm saying. This needs to go first because it has the highest exponent. It has a variable and it's the highest exponent. So it will be, you keep the sign in front, so it will be negative a cubed, and then we have a positive 2a, so that will be plus 2a, and then our plus 3. So that's how I want y'all to start paying attention to make sure your problems are in the correct order. Not that the other way is wrong, but it's just, yeah. Alright, so we're going to do a few of those other ones that we just used. Do these in your notebook, Joshua? Alright. So for the first one, we would do distribute the c throughout. So c times b is going to be c times b. And then c times positive b squared is going to be positive cb squared. And then plus c. Alright, for number 2, we have 2b times ab plus 3b. So we're going to distribute the 2b. So 2b times ab is going to be 2ab squared.
No.
And then it would be positive 6b squared, and then negative 2b squared.
Oh, that makes 27.
20
8 times 9.
What's 8 times 9?
equals 72.
What's 9 times 6?
54.
126 minus 18. Okay.
4.
I had to check and make sure I was saying that right. Alright, so yeah, that would be 2AB. We might work that out just so I can show you.
What about?
Alright, Josh, I want you to come up and do these two.
But
What?
with number 3 and 4, so
Huh?
because I got the answer for 3 and 4, and would it be like? It would be because I got 2.
Okay, work it. All right, Joshua. Talk it out for us and talk it out.
So the equation is 2a squared b times b plus ab minus 3. So using the distributive property, I'll do 2a squared b times b, which that would be 2a squared and then b squared. And then I would add, since this you're adding 2 positives, so it would be 2a squared b and then ab.
Multiplying 2 positives, not
Multiplying 2 positives, and you get 2 a cubed and b minus
Why are you having a hard time?
3.
Oh, it's perfectly fine with me. So it will be 2a squared times b times ab is going to be 2a cubed b squared.
So I did do that part right. And equation 4 is BC times BC plus C plus B. So you multiply BC and BC, which you get B squared and C squared. And you add BC, or you multiply BC and C, which that gives you positive BC squared. And then you multiply BC and B, which you get positive B squared C.
Alright, so now we're going to work out 2 of these to show how it's the same. Alright, I know I'm going to do number 2. I'm going to do number 2.
Let me tell you the answer. Plus 2a3 b2. It says b2 b squared.
Alright, so for the first one, we're going to work it out this way before we distribute, and then we're going to work it out after we distribute. Alright, so we're going to say that A equals 3 and B equals 4. Alright, we're going to use that for both of them. Alright, so starting on this one, so we have 2B, so we'll rewrite that as 2 times 4 And then we have AB, so 3 times 4 plus 3 times 4 minus 4. Alright, so we'll start in our parentheses, which brings us to 12 plus 12 minus 4. So then we have 2 times 4, and then in parentheses we have 12 plus 12, which is 24. 24 minus 4 is 20. Did I put this stuff in right? So 24 minus 12 is 20, so then we have 8 times 20, which is equal to 160. Alright, so then if we plug it in here, we have 2 times 3 times 4 squared plus 6 times 4 squared minus 2 times 4 squared. Alright, so we'll just do all our exponents first. So that's 16. 16. Alright, so now we can do our multiplication. 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 times 16 is 96.
96.
And then this is 96. And then this is 96.
32.
Oh, yeah. What am I? This is 32. That's still not gonna be right. Because I got one over here. I don't know what I did on that one. When I first did it, I got the same answer both times. I don't know what I did on that. Because there's going to be one over. 96. 6 and 6 is
12. Having brain fart.
and then it's 18,
19.
19, and then minus 30.
Yeah, you did something wrong.
No, that's right.
Oh, 160.
That's right. 160 and 160. So we get the same answer. I was freaking fucking I was do this whole thing all over. So we did 96 plus 96 got 192. 192 minus 32 is 160. So we got the same answer doing it. So that means that we distributed correctly. Alright, so now we're going to work this one on the bottom.
Worked out chimpanzees.
Alright, so we'll say A equals 5 and B equals 2. I don't know what it is. Alright, so we're going to do this one first. So 2a squared b, so there's going to be 2 times, 2 times 5 squared times 2 times b, which is 2 plus a times b, so 5 times 2 minus 3. Alright, so we're working out parentheses first. So we have 2 plus 10, which is going to be 12. And so then we can come over here, and so we have 5 squared is going to be 25. So then 2 times 25 times 2. 2 times 25 is 50. 50 times 2 is 100. So we have 100 times 12 minus 3. 100 times 12 is 1200 minus 3. This is going to be 1,197. Alright, so now we can work out this one. So we have 2 times 5 squared times 2 squared plus 2 times 5 to the third power times b times 2 squared minus 3. Alright, so we're going to do our exponents first. So 5 squared is 25. 2 squared is 4. 5 to the third power is 125. So 2 times 125, 2 times 2 to the second power is 4, and then minus 3. So now we can do our multiplication. So 2 times 25 is 50. 50 times 4 is 200. And then 200 plus 2 times 125 is 250. And then 250 times 4 is going to be 1,000. And then we have minus 3. So 1,000 plus 200 is 1,200. 1,200 minus 3 is equal to 1,197. Alright, so you can see how that works out. How you get to the same answer. Alright, we're going to do a few more just distributing, not working them out. Alright, gotcha.
Spider on there. Question 1 is 2 times a plus b times b squared plus c. So you go to this first multiplication problem, which is 2 times a plus b. So you use the distributive property to simplify this. So 2 times a is equal to...
Use the flat side. Joshua, I don't understand why you have such a hard time. Use that one.
As workers.
Then why do you want to do it? It doesn't just fine. You have to do all that.
Because you're right-handed.
Well, stand the other way.
I say stand the other way.
Oh my gosh.
Alright.
you bring that positive down yet. Because I don't want them to think that you just bring down the sign. Erase that.
Alright, so now the next multiplication problem, this is b times b squared plus c. So use the distributive property to simplify it. So it will be do b times b squared, which is equal to positive b cubed. And then you do b times c, which is equal to f bc. Question
It says BQ plus BC.
BQ
You ain't
plus
finished.
BC. What do we do now?
It's not simplified. I always want to simplify answers.
Now, alright, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are, because that's BQ. It's not B. Can you rewrite that so it's not looking like just a B?
Alright. We'll be right. Alright.
Just that last part.
Alright, so now question 2 is AC squared times C minus CA squared. So we use the distribution property to simplify this. So
Distribution.
AC squared times C is equal to A C cubed. And now you do AC squared times times negative CA squared, which will equal neg I tab. Alright, so it will equal negative A squared C squared. Alright, so that's A times
I'm glad you checked that like that.
Alright.
Implementing what you
A
want.
cubed and C cubed.
Good job.
And now question 3 says 2C times B squared.
Hold on, let's pause. Alright, so before Joshua changed that, he wrote it equal A squared plus C cubed, but I told him check it, and this is how he did. But as you can see, this is AC squared, but then this is CA. But don't let that confuse you. It's still A cubed and C cubed, because think about how we talked about earlier, how we have A times C squared. That's like writing it out as A times C squared, which is C times C, and then you're multiplying it by C, negative C, and then times A squared, which is A times A. So this is your expanded form. And so then we see we're multiplying all this, and we see we have 3 A's, so we know we multiply A by itself 3 times, that's A cubed. Then we have C multiplied by to itself 3 times, that's C cubed. So that's how he got A cubed and C cubed.
It was so edgy.
So, alright. Question 3. 2C times B squared A plus C. So first, you add multiply 2C times b squared a, which is going to equal 2 2c b squared a, and then you do 2c times c, which will equal positive 2c squared.
Alright, we're gonna do what? I'm gonna do one more. Let's say we have alright, do the question.
Alright, so the question is 2c times 3b squared a plus 4c. So first you do 2c times 3b squared a, which will equal 6, oh goodness, 6c b squared a. And you do 2c times 4c, which will equal positive 8c squared.
Goodness. This is
Alright, so let's say we had minus 4c and negative 2c. That will give us negative 6c b squared a plus, because negative 2c times a negative 4c, negative times a negative is a positive, plus 8c squared. Alright. Oh, let's check it. Let's check this. Alright, so let's say A equals 2, B equals 3, and C equals negative 2. Alright, so that will give us, we're going to do this one first. So that will give us negative 2 times negative 2 times 3 times 3 squared times 2 minus 4 times negative 2. Alright, so we're going off parentheses first. This is going to give us 3 times 9 times 2 minus, and then negative 4 times negative 2 is going to be positive 8.
Why you have 4? Just the 8.
No, I'm doing this one first. This for this. This one. Alright, so then we have 3 times 9 is 27 times 2 is 54. So 54 plus 8 is 62. And then on the outside, we have negative 2 times negative 2, which is 4. So 62 times 4 is going to be 248. Alright, so now we plug it into this one. It's going to be negative 6 times negative 2 times 3 squared times 2 plus 8 times negative 2 squared. So we're going to do This is gonna be 9. So negative 6 times negative 2 times 9 times 2 plus 8 times 4, because negative 2 squared is positive 4, because the negative times the negative is a positive. So negative 6 times negative 2 is going to be positive 12 times 9. 12 times 9 is 108. 108 times 2 is 216. Plus 8 times 4, which is 24. Oh, no, goodness. Which is 32. So 32 plus 216 is 248. All right, so that's, oh wow, wasn't even showing it. I forgot I zoomed in. Sorry guys, wasn't zoomed in on that. So the first problem is in the black. We plugged it in to this first one before we simplified it, distributed it, and we got 248. And then the brown, after we distributed it, we plugged it in, and we got our answer here. Which was also 248. Right, so that's it for that review.